Welcome back. This is the Life Forge Podcast, Festival of Legends. We are doing Demon Hunter now. Festival of Legends card review. This is Adwicta. Merps is not here, but rest assured, Merps has looked at all these scores, and we have discussed the ones that these are all Merps approved. Basically, he's moved some of the scores around and all that. This is not just my score. We are now at Demon Hunter. And again, we're going to do these. We always do these from the best cards to the worst card. But Demon Hunter has a lot of good cards. The best one is an A+, so not quite S, but close to it. And it is Glaivetar. This is a rare weapon. 4 mana, 4/2 weapon. Death Rattle, draw 1 card. Play Outcast cards while equipped to improve. So, it already is a normal weapon that draws you a card. And then, if you synergize it and play outcast cards while you have it equipped, you will draw even more cards. So that's all pretty insane. The only thing kind of like preventing it from being like super duper insane is that this is Demon Hunter. Your face is very valuable. So weapons in Demon Hunter are actually kind of good because you never run into that one extra damage issue you do with other classes. That hero power just buffs your face attack damage, so you can always get one extra damage if you need. But you are still using your face as a resource. Anyway, these are this is a really insane card. Doesn't need that much explanation. Um, Next up is a whole bunch of A tier cards, like a whole bunch of A tier cards. I'm just gonna start with the smallest one, Taste of Chaos. Taste of Chaos is a 1 mana common spell. Deal 2 damage to a minion. So these days, 1 mana can deal 3 damage to a minion, but dealing 2 damage to a minion is still pretty damn good. Finale. Discover a fell spell. So you already have a perfectly okay card. And then Finale, as a 1 mana card, finales are pretty damn easy. Finale, discover a fell spell. So you can, it's just super good. Like 1 mana, discover a spell is a totally normal card that is good. And on top of that, you are dealing 2 damage to a minion. That's very, very, very good card. Next up, you have Guitar Soloist. So, Guitar Soloist is another common card. These are all A tier cards, by the way. 5 mana for 3. Battle Cry. If you control no other minions, draw a spell, a minion, and a weapon. So, if you control no other minions, draw a spell, a minion, and a weapon. You can't play this card as a 5 mana 4/3 without controlling no other minions, right? Like it has to be played solo. So you just have to wait until whenever the situation is that you can get this solo, and then you draw 3 cards. 5 mana 4/3, draw 3 cards, and 2 of them are really really good. The only downside is that you have to actually have a spell and a weapon in your deck, which sometimes doesn't happen, right? Like oftentimes you don't have enough weapons in your deck. You only have 1 or 2, and if you draw them, then this card draws 1 less. But at the same time, if you draw 1 less card, who really cares, right? It's still a 5 mana 4/3 that draws 2 cards. Ooh. This is the A tier card. It's situational enough that it's not like it's super busted card, but it is still very good. You want this in your deck, and it gives Demon Hunters some good draw as a common card too. Like you're looking for things that kind of change how a class plays. That usually ends up mattering in the meta much more than whether an individual card is good or not. So like Glaivetar, right? We covered is auto pick super good, it draws you cards. Guitar Soloist draws you also like multiple cards. Uh Taste of Chaos, even their like little pings and whatever, it still replenishes itself, and more so than that draws you like cards. So you're having a lot of really good card draw cards being added to Demon Hunter, and that's going to change the way the entire class plays. Because Demon Hunter used to be either very aggressive or wait for the big demons, right? And if you wait for the big demons, you play your big demons, and then you're out. Like there's still no card draw in Demon Hunter before, and that's all changing. There's a lot of card draw coming in for Demon Hunter. Okay, one more A tier card to finish this up. It is Instrument Smasher. This one's epic. You're not going to see it that much. It's a 4 mana, 3/6, so it's on curve. Whenever your weapon is destroyed, equip a random Demon Hunter weapon. Very, very good. If you can synergize it with your last swing of a weapon, you get a free random Demon Hunter weapon. Super duper good. And because it's a weapon, you can control it, right? If you're not playing this on curve, you can just like not swing that last charge of the weapon until you play this card. Okay. So, just like the Death Knight that we talked about before, after you get through the good cards, there's kind of this drought. There's not a lot of B tier cards for Demon Hunter either. You're going to some like bad cards. The bridging card is Snakebite. Snakebite is a C tier card, so like a little bit better than a Yeti. It's a 2 mana 1/1 Naga, Rush, Battle Cry, gain +1/+1 for each minion that died this turn. So you probably can't play it on curve, but off curve, it's going to be good value. Like, you could probably make sure 2 or 3 things die in a turn. After that, you have some D plus tier cards. Like, these cards are not great, but they won't kill your deck. Security, a 2 mana spell, summon 2/1/1 Eldari with Rush. Not great. Outcast, summon 1 more. Okay. I don't know. It's fine. Probably combos with some stuff. Eye of Shadows is your last D plus tier card. This one's epic. 2 mana, 2/3 demon. Your hero has lifesteal. You have a hero power that you're going to use pretty often. So, you know, the lifesteal is not like just a weapon synergy. But it's not that big of a boost compared to your normal your normal Crocs. And then last non-legendary card is Rush the Stage. Rush the Stage, 3 mana spell, draw 2 Rush minions. They cost 1 less. This one's not good. You don't have that much Rush minions. You can't consistently make sure you have 2 in your deck. And remember, these are like, so I guess it's kind of thematic. It forces you to play this Rush card early, right? Normally, you don't want to draw cards until later on because you care more about tempo early and less about tempo later. But for this card, you kind of have to play it early, or else you keep running the risk that you don't have enough Rush cards in your deck. If you even have 2 Rush minions in your deck to begin with, like that's the problem with this card. And because otherwise, 3 mana to draw 2 things, and then they cost 1 less. It's like 1 mana for 2 cards, which is pretty good. The other problem is that the cards that you're drawing are Rush minions, and Rush minions are probably on average worse than the average card in your deck. Like you're not drawing your super big spells. You're not drawing your like weapons or whatever. Okay. So that's it for the non-legendary cards. The legendary card, as usual, it is a 1 minion and then 1 spell. The minion is Halvaria Darkraven, 4 mana, 4/3 rush. After a friendly rush minion attacks, give your minions +1 attack. So the friendly rush minion includes Halvaria itself. 4 mana, 4/3 rush, first of all, is not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. But immediately, once it attacks, it gives all your minions, including itself, like after it attacks, including itself, +1 attack. So you're buffing your whole thing by +1. And any other minion with Rush does the same thing. So they can be played on the same turn. Halvaria is only 4 mana. Later on, you'll have more mana to do other stuff. Or they could already be on the board, right? Where the Rush kind of like didn't matter anymore, but it's still a Rush minion. So when it attacks, it's buffing everything else too. You get quite a bit of plus attack like this if you have the right board, whether you have and the right hand, which involves a little bit of setup, but is mostly like happenstance, right? Like the circumstances happen to fit that, and so you get some value out of it. But overall, it's just all kind of bonus. Like, it's just how big your bonus is. It's just a good card. Okay, and then the spell is Going Down Swinging. It is 5 mana. Give your hero +2 attack and immune this turn, then attack each enemy minion. So you want to use it with a hero power, so then it's really 6 mana, deal 3 damage to everything. That's not good, like, for a board clear. But it's still a board clear, so it gets a C. Alright. I mean, that's Demon Hunter. I don't know what else is there to say about this. We covered the main thing. The main thing with this Demon Hunter package, I think it's really obvious, is that they're trying to make Rush happen, and they're trying to give Demon Hunters more cards. Making Rush happen, you see the Rush that exists in the meta. That's not going to change that much. There's a decent amount, but it's not like a guarantee. And as far as card draw goes, that's going to be game changing. That will change how Demon Hunters feel and what Demon Hunters can do. So this set is very good for Demon Hunter. You almost never see any class come out and straight up get 4 A tier and above cards. That like so rarely happens. And that goes to also to like the rest of these classes. Quite a few classes get a whole bunch of A tier cards in this set. They really are getting more consistent with the power level of these class cards. And for Demon Hunter, that thumb on the scale is on card draw. So you're gonna have a different Demon Hunter experience in this meta. All right, that's it for me. We're gonna see you in the next class after this, which is Druid. Until then, this is Adwicta.